Hello and welcome to Today in Brevard Sports. I'm Nessel.
And I'm McCallum.
Thank you for joining us on this fabulous Friday when we bring you news and features on local sports personalities and events. Are you ready for some football? We're in somewhat of a football crossroads in Brevard County right now. Today we visit with the Brevard Warriors, our very own minor league football team. They are only in their first year of existence and already they have had an amazing run to the top of the national rankings.
It's also springtime for high school football in Brevard. We'll take you out to one bustling local high school football practice field where a state trophy translated into many new faces. We'll also update you on the exciting postseason events going on tonight and this weekend.
Then we'll highlight the latest sports feats from our local colleges and offer up some sporty things to do around Brevard County. Our columnist, Peter Kirasotis, is off work this week, but he will return with his commentary on our next week's show. So Brian, I admit I hadn't heard too much about the Southeast Football League before the Warriors started here in Brevard County, and I'm thinking some folks brushed the entire idea aside, probably didn't know what to think or expect. But this team has really impressed. They are sitting at number 2 in the national rankings for minor league football teams.
I'm excited to see this.
Yep, let's take a look.
Brevard Warrior football is our pace and our game. We want to control the ball, control the game at all points of the game, offense and defense.
We've done surprisingly well our first season. I'm very proud of these guys and the work that they put in. When we started this, I was, hoping for just a winning record. I didn't expect to have a 9-1 record going into the postseason with a real shot at the championship. These guys we got a lot of talented athletes in Brevard, and they've exceeded my expectations by leaps and bounds.
Originally, there was a group of us that came together, a lot of players that were playing last year for the Orlando Outlaws, and the players and their girlfriends. We all met together. We're all from Brevard and wanted to form a minor league football team for Brevard County. We wanted to have entertainment for the community that was affordable, and also a forum for talented players that they could move up, whether their goals were college, arena, or CFL, whatever they wanted to do in professional sports, or just even come out for fun. We wanted to be able to provide that for Brevard County.
Well, I've been fortunate. I was at a college that started football. I was at a high school that started football, so I've been in the experience before. I knew there was a lot of quality football players in the area. We were fortunate once we got a couple of them, they spread the word, and I'm very happy with the team we got right now. We have a lot of quality players. The majority of our players are local guys. We got some from out of state, a couple that played college football before. In the state of Florida, there's a tremendous amount of talent. Unfortunately, a lot of them don't qualify with the ACT or the SAT and just can't get into school. We're trying to act as a junior college if we can. If they go to BCC, get their grades up, they can go on to a 4-year school. But there's a tremendous amount of talent in Florida. Again, it's just untapped.
I played all Little League actually at this field right here, and I played for Cocoa High School from 01 through 04. And then I've coached Little League football since my sophomore year in high school through today. I coached Rockledge Little League, and I coached some ball here before this league got shut down. I wanted to play for the Brevard Warriors because it was a second chance for me to play football. I coach these kids, and it's a blast, but it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't give me the same rush football does, playing does.
Right now we're ranked number 2 in the nation. The Southwest Stampede is ahead of us. They're out of the Arizona Football League. Then we have the Orlando Rage right behind us. They did have the number 1 position, but with their loss last week, it's bumped us up to number 2. And as long as we keep winning and winning by the scores that we have been, we got a real shot at number 1. I'm shocked that we were able to climb the rankings that high. I knew we had a powerful team when we ended our preseason. And going into this season, I'd spoken with the minor league football news who does the rankings, and they told me how hard it was in our competition, but we've climbed up pretty fast and we've stayed at the top. We've had either number 2 or number 3 ranking for the last 6 weeks in a row, so it's been a great ride.
It means a lot to be ranked number 2 in the nation because that's exposure, and it's got my name on it, even though it isn't my team, but I'm part of something big.
I had high school experience, also playing county for Rockledge Little League, and that's about it. I wouldn't mind going pro. It's everybody's dream. Yeah, that's basically what I want to do. I want to take it as far as I can.
Well, it's football, it's fun, and it's local. I made it out to Cocoa for one of their games, and I have to say it's a really nice family atmosphere. And I was impressed. They even have their own dance team, and these girls did a bunch of wardrobe changes. It's definitely a fun evening or afternoon. The Warriors' next game is Saturday at 7 p.m. The 9-1 Warriors will host the Knights of Miami, who are 9-2. These two teams have never played each other. Saturday is the divisional championship game at Stradley Field in Cocoa. That's right behind Cocoa Stadium where the high school games are played. The winner will advance to face the undefeated Central Florida Thoroughbreds for the league championship May 16th in Fort Pierce.
Looking for some future athletic superstars, a local health club hosted an event to highlight the athleticism of Brevard kids. Club Performax in Suntree hosted the Best Athlete in Brevard competition last weekend. Kids ages 9 to 17 turned out to test their skills, speed, and strength.
Well, actually I wasn't planning on coming here today, but my sister came to the earlier session, which was ages 9 to 11, and she actually won first place and got $100 and some other cool stuff. So that motivated me a little bit, and I juggled my schedule a tad, and here I am.
I think the hardest for me was the push-ups. The easiest part for me was the balance test, and I stayed on it for like 2 minutes and 4 seconds. So.
Kids are a lot of fun to work with. The best thing about working with kids is that they're at a stage in life where you can mold them and sort of groom them into the young athletes that you want them to be. A lot of times when you're working with adults, they're sort of set in their ways and also set in their body mechanics. And kids, if you teach them good mechanics at a young age, it's going to be great for them as far as preventing injuries and growing up and adopting these habits on a long-term basis.
Well, we've been doing our speed school program for a while now with kids from 8 to 18, making great athletes even greater, and also taking regular kids and helping them develop the love of fitness and get off the couch, and stop playing video games and stuff like that. So that evolved from myself, my husband, and our director Shadia Nator, who does our speed school program, coming up with an idea of a way to kind of showcase our program to people is let's have a little competition and show kids, who is maybe the best athlete in Brevard, and in a fun field day. Depending on the age group, there's 4 to 6 different tests involving speed, strength, agility, balance, that type of thing, and whoever scores highest combined in those events is the winner. And we have first, second, third in each age group, boy and girl.
Well, we heard about this competition from our daughter's gymnastics facilities at Tumbleweeds, and our 8-year-old and 11-year-old daughters do gymnastics there on a regular basis. And when our son heard about it, he came out too. He's now competing in the 15 to 17-year-old boys. I think what they're doing here is tremendous because it promotes physical activity and getting training in that regard, not just out here goofing around. Plus it builds the self-esteem of the kids.
Keep going, keep going, keep going. Woohoo! Way to go, buddy!
I won the Brevard's Best Athlete contest in the 12 to 14-year-old age group. I think the squat was the hardest exercise because I had to do a lot. And the balance exercise was easy because I am a gymnast and it was easy for me to balance. I thought the competition was great. It was really fun, and I'd like to come back and train with them again. It was fun.
The feedback has been terrific today, and I'm certain that we'll do this every year. I think it'll just grow and grow. We'll have a bigger turnout every year. I'd like to see it happen every year, and what I've heard a lot of is the adults are very interested in actually testing themselves with things like this. They want to know how fast can they do a 40, or how much can they bench press, or how long can they balance on a balance bow. So I'm pretty sure soon we'll have an adult Brevard's Best Athlete competition, because I think the adults they're kids at heart and they want to try it.
Well, that's really great to see, promoting health and wellness among the kids in the community. Brian, you did hear them correct, right? That they would like to host a Best Athlete in Brevard Adult Edition. Did you hear that?
I did hear that.
Are you going to sign up?
I think that's more your infatuation, the health, the Rod Stewart contest. I think you wear it well. That's why you are forever young, although it might be a good way to test the rhythm of my heart. But no, I think I'll pass on it. Those are the Rod Stewart puns for anybody who didn't catch on. Rod Stewart I met when I went over there to learn about the story, and a heck of a guy, and it sounds like they're doing some good work over there with the speed and the kids.
Yeah, I was impressed by the activities that the kids did, and I know over at my gym at CrossFit there are a bunch of people who would sign up for that Best Athlete in Brevard, and I don't think I'd win, but if you guys host that contest, I will sign up. I'll say that right now.
Speaking of a lot of people signing up, I went to Cocoa High School football practice this week, and if you remember the term the Dirty 30 from 2 years ago when Cocoa made it to the state semifinal, you can forget that term. There were 92 players at practice this week. And there are apparently about 38 to 40 more junior high kids going to show up next year. Coach John Wilkinson was looking around seeing over 90 faces this week, and they're going to have quite a huge group in the fall. Most Brevard teams are in the middle of spring practice, and 15 of them will hold spring games beginning May 20th. More immediately, I'll be back at the State Track and Field Championships today and Saturday in Winter Park, blogging from the event to keep you updated on how Brevard athletes are doing. Friday is 3A, Saturday is 4A. For those looking for a baseball game to watch, there are 4 games locally today, beginning with Temple Christian at 4 p.m. and MCC at 5. Melbourne and Merritt Island have home games at 7, and the Mustangs are hosting rival Rockledge. We also want to wish a quick congratulations to the O'Galley softball team. The Commodores are the lone remaining high school softball team in action and will play in the state semifinals a week from today in Plant City. We had 3 state champions last week at the Class 1A and 2A meets. Holy Trinity's Kayla Hale won the mile and 2 mile to push her career championship total to 13. Coco's Darian Williams won his 3rd state long jump title, and Cocoa Beach's Jocelyn Rice, who we saw on this show last week, won the 2A discus championship. I'll take full credit for her victory because of the time she and I spent working together on the shots put, even though that's a different sport.
Yes, Brian, I'm sure Jocelyn's coach would agree with you wholeheartedly that you're responsible for her victory. In local college news, a Florida Tech golfer has a second chance at a national title. Tech senior and Satellite High graduate Daniela Icabelli was the 2007 Division II national champion. She earned a return trip to the national tournament this year by winning a 4-hole playoff during regional competition earlier this week. Icabelli will travel to Ohio next week for the NCAA Division II finals. Also in Florida Tech news, the men's and women's tennis teams are competing in the regional tournament at Lynn University in Boca Raton. The appearance is the 2nd in a row for the women and 1st ever for the men. Tech's #1 women's doubles team of junior Natalia Ramos and freshman Abigail Grief were named to the Sunshine State Conference first team. The Tech men's and women's crew teams are in Philadelphia today and Saturday competing in the Dad Vale Regatta. This is the most prestigious event in college rowing. Tech's men have a winning history at this event as well. The men have earned 4 Dad Vale overall national championships between 1982 and 1988, and 2 Dad Vale Varsity 8 national championships. The Tech women have won 2 Dad Vale championships, 1982 and in '87. Brevard Community College's softball team came up 1 game short in the state tournament this year, finishing its season with a 37-19 record. BCC needed to defeat Florida Community College Jacksonville just once to win the Atlantic Division title and to bid to the national championship tournament, but it lost 5-4 in 8 innings. Well, it's been very dry around Brevard lately with no rain in the forecast. So what do we do when it's heating up and there's no relief in sight? Many in Brevard seek out the ocean. Let's see what local surf forecaster Bob Freeman has to say about the conditions for the weekend.
Okay, thanks. Well, here's what I see going on this weekend. You know, we've had a lot of strong onshore winds the past couple of weeks. Fortunately, we'll see the winds back off quite a bit over this weekend, and there's a good likelihood that we'll have some early morning southwest breezes and some possible wind shifts off and on through the day back from the southeast to the southwest. We also have remnants of a southeast wind swell that are still going to be hitting our beaches, so I'm expecting surf to run in the thigh to waist high range on Saturday and then dropping to the mostly thigh high range on Sunday. We will have some clean lines. It will be a good fun size, a little on the small side, but should be a lot of fun. Keep in mind that we have a morning high tide, so with a dropping tide, the surf should improve at most of the breaks throughout the late morning and in the early afternoon. So get out there, have a good time this weekend. Should be a great weekend for surfing, small but clean fun. This is Bob Freeman for Florida Today.
Thank you, Bob. Professional tennis descended upon Brevard this week for the $50,000 Mima Foundation USTA Pro Tennis Classic. It's the 4th straight year the Kiwi Tennis Club in Indian Harbor Beach is hosting some of the world's best up-and-coming professional women's players. The semifinals are Saturday. Finals for singles and doubles will be played on Mother's Day. Past winners from the event have all since cracked the world's top 100 players and are performing on the main WTA tour. Tickets are required for the rest of the competitions, and they're available at the Kiwi Club. For updates, match schedules, and results, remember you can follow the latest in Florida Today and at floridatoday.com. Also, the Brevard Warriors will host the Knights of Miami at 7 p.m. on Saturday in a divisional playoff game at Stradley Field in Cocoa.
Number 10 now, sacked by hosts of Warriors.
They have a lot at stake with the number 2 national ranking. Whatever the outcome, it's been an exceptional inaugural season.
And a reminder, if you can't make it to the 3A or 4A state track and field championships today and tomorrow in Winter Park, I'll be there blogging live so you can keep track of all our local athletes at floridatoday.com.
For Brian McCallum and myself, Lee Nessel, we thank you for joining us at Today in Brevard Sports. Please join us next week for another look at sports news in your community. And remember, you can keep up with the latest in local sports, pick up Florida Today, and visit floridatoday.com. See you next time.